And then everything's cool after that. But that first part is a little rocky. You know, I went through it. Took about 10
You know
years.
bro, you know I'm catching heat, being Adam catching heat.
For what?
They saying you on payroll, bro. They saying that you are possibly one of the ones who knows better to speak on Big U. And I said, no, I just think they have a mutual friendship, and Vlad really doesn't involve himself in conversations that he hasn't really researched and he doesn't know about. He sits back, he hears it. I said, I know Vlad, he'll go back and look into what was said, and if something's not right, next time y'all in front of each other, he gonna ask you the question. I said, but with that, one thing I can respect is that however they stand, Vlad is letting it stay that way. I said, bro, you acting kind of weird with me. You paint narratives and saying weird things. I said, but when your situation was going on, I stood with you and gave you a lane that had a little light. I said, so I called him. I said, I want to know why you saying the things you saying. He said, well, when 6ix9ine had his situation with the feds, they came to him to get a video. He said they went to Adam to get a document. I said, well, you guys got things that they want. So what would make you think that they would come to me? I don't have videos or documents. I said, and they did this after what? After they were incarcerated? Yeah, I said, you really think while they were running their investigation 2 years ago when he mentioned my name that they're gonna come to me and run the risk of me figuring out is something bigger going on? I said, bro, you gotta think about it. It's one thing if he would have been plotting to assassinate me or something like that. He just simply said, I want to whoop his ass.
That's it.
That's it. Like, you know what I mean? You know, if somebody, and I had to remind him, the last time that happened, when I got a call about Jay Prince, I exposed it. And I told them people, which I haven't, me and Jay Prince, we do our back and forth on the internet, but he's never threatened me. I don't feel threatened by him. I don't think he feels threatened by me. He says his piece, I says my piece, and then we go on about it. So everything doesn't have to be goddamn World War III around here.